Well, hello, everybody out there in Facebook land. It is Sunday, Self-Care Sunday once again, and we are so happy to be back. We were um, not here last week, but we are here now, and we are so happy to be a part of this, to grab something to drink, and kick your shoes off, put your feet on the recliner, ottoman, and enjoy. We're going to take some questions here towards the end and discuss self-care habits, Rachel's update on her recovery, and things that we do for self-care. We may get some ideas through you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my beautiful wife on board, and we're going to get the ball rolling on this fabulous Sunday. Everybody witness my beautiful wife, Miss Rachael Farouk. Hello, honey. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
How
I,
you
I
like?
don't know about I don't know about beautiful, but oh,
She's flashy with her new headset. I love it.
oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I couldn't get my headset. My headset broke, so I finally got a headset so I can hear.
Yes. Yeah, and we have the
Yay!
groovy new music for the intro. How you like that? We're grooving. Grooving.
So my name is Rachel, and I am in recovery for many things. So I'm in recovery for anorexia nervosa. I have multiple mental health issues, and it looks like I'm on the spectrum, which I learned about late in life. So we're going to hopefully get this taken care of and clinically diagnosed this week, finishing the process.
Yes. So this is self-care slash recovery for recovery broadcast. I guess we can call it, right?
Yes. And
You know what?
Rachel's like, a lot of comorbidities. Nobody needs to see the mental health resume.
Well, I think with what you're going through is relatable to a lot of people that are out there that are going through one or two or maybe even three things that you're going through. So it's a touchy subject that people usually shy against talking about, but you are a courageous one
Oh,
to talk about it. So I'm really
thank
excited
you.
agree to go about doing this. I'm like, yes, you know what I mean? So I think it's great to kind of talk to everybody all at the same time. So here we go.
Yes. And my apologies, I'm wearing a mask also because they're fixing our heater. It's very cold in California and a lot of places. So sending a lot of healing energy and vibes and positive thoughts your direction. Hope you stay warm.
Yes, and right off the bat, we have some people that are chiming in. I'm just going to show you one. Pamela
Hi,
says,
Pamela. Oh, what a sweetheart. I wish you lots of luck. Thank you.
we wish you lots of love. Hey, like that.
Hi,
And
yeah,
there you go.
absolutely.
Well, hey, I wanted to start off. I had a very interesting um, message from somebody from Facebook. Actually, I think this was YouTube, and
Uh-huh.
she gave me clearance to say her name. This is Cassie Miller, and I want to read this to you
Oh,
real quick.
Cassie. Uh-huh. I know Cassie.
Yeah, I wanted to read this to you, and for all of you guys out there too, and maybe help to shed a little bit of light on the eating disorder situation. Um,
Ooh.
Mind you, I'm not the best reader, and I have a little bit of anxiety about with reading. But Rachel coaches me along and says, "No, you're not that bad. So don't be
I
so
don't
hard."
say you're not that bad. I said you're doing great.
Yeah, you did say that. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't say you're not that bad. And
I
it's
say that to
keeping,
myself. That's how it's related to my ears, I guess.
you filtered it.
Yeah,
Huh?
filtered it, yeah. Okay, well, she says this. For people who don't understand eating disorders, I can try to shed some light here. The longer and harder you are in an eating disorder, the longer and harder the road out is. The more you hurt and destroy your body, the more your body doesn't know what to do with itself anymore.
So true.
It has to relearn how to absorb and use nutrients. The,
Yeah,
or, the organ damage throughout the entire body. You have to heal each and every piece of the entire body. Rachel is the worst case of anorexia in history, but she's still alive. I know everyone is all about weight, which is important, but listen to how she can articulate. Um, Her eyes are alive, and her skin has color. She's in school and performing well. The brain is recovering and more quickly than other parts of her body. It took me over a year to gain a chunk of weight. That shouldn't take that long in general, but for what I did to my body, what I did to my body for over 20 years.
Oh,
Uh, and this she's talking about herself here. It is hard to do. Rachel's body may never work fully 100% to eat all the way that we all do, to eat the way that we all do. People have allergies, people have dysphagia, people have gastroparalysis, etc. It's not their fault, and they eat how they can eat, or how their body can handle it. If you go back to the beginning videos where she started and look at her now, it's a turnaround from how you're articulating and how your brain is readjusting, basically, is what she's saying. Rachel, I admire your journey. I'm walking my own, and only wish I had the support that you do. But keep doing you and take one day at a time, and hopefully one day everything returns to how it should have been all along. You're an inspiration to all of us with anorexia and proof that it is possible. Thank you, Casey.
oh my
Casey
gosh.
Miller, you're a beautiful person. Thank you for sharing all that.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I've never heard it explained so beautifully like that. Casey, thank you so much for what you said. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it does get minimized, and I think a lot of people walk their own path of their own recovery, and they're all different. Everyone's is different, and you have different situations happening as well. So it's not like a cookie cutter, one size fits all,
Right.
return to glory. You know what I mean?
And she exactly explained it. What happens is my brain is doing well, but my body struggles, and it's if I do it too fast. See what? And let me explain. If you do, I've had it done too fast before, and that almost killed me several times doing it that way. So I have to be more gentle, and being gentle with me to my body, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that at all. So for me, I know this sounds silly, but I can build a computer. Like I can program it, build it, do all that. But I don't want to say normal stuff, but I guess it is kind of normal daily stuff like taking a bath or a shower or like eating right. I've had these problems my entire life. I just didn't know what they were. And I didn't have an eating disorder until I was much older. I was almost 30. I was in my late 20s, almost 30 years old when it developed. Not typical of what it entails. And to be honest, I've been not diagnosed for so long. Finding out ADHD, hyperactivity, and inattention. I didn't know about any of that stuff. And this is before the internet and all those things. So information wasn't readily available. And when I did have an eating disorder, mine was trauma based. Mine was because of abuse and also hospital abuse eventually too. That's the part I'm working on. I've had a lot of lifelong trauma of all the kinds of abuse you can go through. But I didn't have an eating disorder then. I just stuffed it, maintained the status quo, because I just wanted to fit in. And then it just kind of became a beast on its own because I was not taking self-caring. And that's when it really, really went bad, was much later in life. And that's when it developed. So that's kind of how.
How did you say it last week? You were saying things that are physiological in your brain turned into biological with your body.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One thing it's not my quote, so I never take credit for something I didn't do. It was a quote I've heard. It's everything psychological becomes biological, and that's very true.
Didn't mean to botch that. Sorry.
No, you did great. You did great. So for me, like all of this has, see, when I finally saw a doctor, like when I grew up, I didn't see doctors at all. One time I broke my wrist out of almost 20 some years. That was the only, almost 30 years, that was the only time I saw a doctor. So when I finally did see a doctor and it was more of a like a treatment setting. I mean, there were a couple like lab things I had done prior, but when it was a treatment setting, all or doctor at this point, all they saw was anorexia. That's it. They just saw anorexia.
Yeah.
So I was underdiagnosed, misdiagnosed of all kinds for a long time. And finally, hopefully this week, I'll have more of a definite
Yes.
diagnosis of it.
And
So,
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say, so imagine you're like, okay, I don't care, I'm 45, okay, I'm just 45 years old. So imagine you're 45 years old and you're being told, oh, by the way, you might have autism, and you're like, what? Uh, oh, what? How did, you see what I'm saying? I'm still trying to understand it. So I go to school right now and I call it recovery school because I've learned all about these things through school, through college, and because I want to help others. And that's a big sticking point to me. And I know that even recently people have been saying, well, why don't you help yourself first? Of course. Yes, I need to help myself first. But in peer recovery, what we learn, and these are clinically proven, scientifically proven, medically reviewed studies and articles that show that when someone is helping, they are mutually helping each other. All we're not saying I'm an expert. No, I cannot fully help someone in this capacity. I understand that. But I can help in ways that I'm capable, and it's a mutual aid. So, because, see, the thing is, when you're familiar with yourself, you make assumptions about yourself without examining, right? But me wanting to try to understand someone else, it raises my level of awareness. And during that process, it opens a window to myself. So I'm learning through helping, and they're helping me, vice versa. It's just mutual help. No one's better than the other. We're just supporting each other through the process. And one of the ways to get better is to learn. That's what neuroplasticity means. I have to really unlearn 45 years and relearn a different way. And that's what neuroplasticity is. And it takes years to do,
Yeah, it's
right?
baby
So,
steps. It's all
right.
trajectory, baby steps, right?
And there's the momentum.
Yes.
Hi, Amanda, my sweet Amanda. It's so great to see you. Oh,
So we're gonna take any type of questions that you guys have towards the end here. So if you have any questions or comments, I'll pull them onto the screen, sort of thing. And then I
can I
put
say
some.
one thing real quick, Rod?
Sure.
It was
Go
just
ahead.
relating to that. I forgot about this. You know when they used to say, um, you shouldn't become your own lawyer? You know that expression? Well, I can't be my own healer, right? I can use some of my internal process to heal, but I heal through other sources, learning about other people, learning about information. That's how I'm healing, by learning and growing and being open to it.
Understanding the situation, so
Right.
it's
I'm
not
sorry, Rod.
going in blindly, right? Which has happened. So it gets confusing that you can't just turn on that light switch like everyone else can, and like you don't even know where the light switch is half the time. You know what I mean?
Right. And sometimes you point it out, like I know, like a lawyer, right? They would examine, right? Because we know ourselves. What do we need a lawyer for? Well, they'll examine something you might not see. That's all that it is. Like I'll notice, oh, Rod, you're not self-carrying enough. You need to go paint. That's what peer support is. That's what healing is, and helping each other. We're helping each other grow. We're not fixing each other. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I would like to be one day, but I know I'm not there yet. So the only help we do is beneficial, mutual benefit. So I just wanted to clear the air about that. I'm not healing people. I'm not No, I'm helping people and they help me too. It's reciprocal. So
Yeah,
it feels
like I was saying,
balanced.
it's a very could be a very relatable situation. Plus, there's there's more people out there that don't have it, and they are on the caregiving end. So yeah, so I feel
Well,
you guys are going through.
depression's the number one thing going around right now. So I think we all can relate to periods of depression and anxiety. Now
Right.
imagine that's your disorder
All
and
right. So
it's
you have
ongoing.
a little love, Chris, from Chris.
Hi,
Chris,
Oh, I love those butterflies. Oh my goodness.
let's give you a
Oh, I
perfect.
got to get me those. People know I loves me my butterflies, unicorns, and rainbows. Ooh,
There
ooh.
you go. All right, so we have some questions from last week.
Oh,
I
sure.
pulled that I was going to pull onto the screen to talk about today,
Excellent.
and then if you guys have any other questions, I'll add after we're done, and then we'll wrap it up and carry on with your Sunday. And I hope you guys are taking care of yourself on this Sunday.
Self
Um,
care Sunday.
Care
Boop,
Sunday,
boop.
just another self care Sunday. It went in.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. I was jamming with you.
All right. So you had one by well here's one that's a very direct. This is from D. She
Sure.
says, "Please go to the hospital, be admitted, if not to a rehab center."
I gotcha. Okay. Dee, let me give you a little history on that. When I've gone to the hospital in the past, they've put me into heart, liver, and kidney failure. I've been infected and septic at another hospital. Then they tried to refeed and it started to fail again. The problem is I've had too many close calls at hospitals. So imagine the times you go to the hospital, not all the times, right? But many of the times I have gone to the hospital, I was told I had to check out because I didn't have an organ failing, or they almost killed me. And I want that to sink in for a second. That's the hospital trauma I'm talking about.
But there
I've
has been
been
times that they saved
yes,
your life on the other end as
yes, they
well. So
have
let's be
absolutely. But
cognizant.
they also caused the heart, liver, and kidney failure
Yeah.
and saved me at the same time, right? But I want you to understand, and again, this is my experience. I think people should go get help, go to treatment, go to the hospital, absolutely. But what I'm saying is my experience is traumatic. I've been confined as far as like, oh, just put her on solitary. Just do that. Don't worry, she'll be fine. When does solitary help anybody? I'm not even someone who reacts. I'm so compliant. I'm overly compliant. I'll just go, I do whatever they say, and then and I've had that taken advantage of. Unfortunately, San Diego, I have not spoken about this, but San Diego was the worst place I have been to during the recovery process, and the scariest of what they put me through.
Yeah, it's
And
odd
so,
how they kind of well they treat you like an inmate half the time. It was crazy.
yes,
There was literally an inmate right
there were
next to me
several.
in the
Yeah,
hospital. They were joking and having fun over there, and he was like chained to the bed. I'm like,
yeah,
why are they treating him so well? So good,
yeah.
not you.
And some of them
Uh,
punched the nurses, and but that
yeah,
they anyhow. But that's a whole other story. I don't want to. It'll be like a segue to a like when the documentary comes out, you'll hear about it. Let's just say. But my point being is that I've had a lot of close calls, and I don't. They scare me. I am
um,
too scared to go. Right, let me say this, please. I just have to say this. Imagine you're being told to go to a place that's almost killed you several times. Think about that. How much would you doubt? How much would you hesitate? That's all I'm saying. I don't say you have to agree. No, no, no. I'm not saying to do what I did. I'm just saying allow for understanding. Would you go somewhere that's repetitively almost killed you? The other thing was the treatment center. That has happened as well. I've been to treatment centers and they've almost put me down and I had to go to the hospital. And the other reason, I was open to going back. I was like, okay, I can do the treatment. They didn't do as bad. They didn't put me as much in harm's way as the other places, as the hospitals. But when I got try to go, oh, we need you to go to the hospital first. You're too much of a liability. So that's the other part. why I can't just go to a rehab center. I've tried every form of care you
Oh
can
yeah, they want
possibly
you to they
imagine.
want to have you go to the hospital and have
Right.
you go to the treatment.
I'm
Lisa's
sorry, I
late.
just had to say that
Well,
to clarify.
Lisa may be late to the conversation, but she was basically saying it's not the hospital's problem. It was because of the eating disorder that had. Initially, I could see getting in,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah,
of course, initially,
absolutely. Initially, it was me, but at the same time, like I said, I was undiagnosed and misdiagnosed. Had they, been made aware of, oh, it's this that she has a problem with. It's not just an eating disorder. If they had addressed the trauma, autism, ADHD, self-harming that all fall under the umbrella of autism, it would have been dealt with
well,
differently. But you are correct, Lisa. If you want to say, I mean, you could say I'm the one who caused the eating disorder, yes, but it was a trauma related. I was getting assaulted at work. So there were times where I haven't talked about that yet.
yeah,
So please understand, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't even know what an eating disorder was.
yeah.
All I knew is anorexics didn't eat and bulimics purge. That's literally up until I was almost 30 my extent of eating disorder information. I didn't go try to do these things. What happened was is I was started overdoing activity and limiting my nutrition because I was getting abused at work, and subconsciously I didn't want to look female anymore. And apparently that's why I was doing it, to look as ugly and detestable as possible so I wouldn't attract that kind of abuse anymore. So I'm healing from it, and I understand. And if you want to say ultimately me, okay, ultimately the eating disorder, but really it's much more layered because humans were so complex. And to say it's just an eating disorder, well, it was a lot of things that were going on at once. So it was like almost a perfect storm. And I'm not excusing it, but I have to let go because now I've been blaming and shaming myself for so long. And that doesn't do any good.
No, no.
Now I'm not using these diagnoses as an excuse. It's just my brain works different. And I'm just trying to understand it so I can be a better person. That's all. Does that make sense?
There you go. Yeah, and unless you were there with us in the hospital to understand what was going
Oh
down,
my
it's hard to
God.
sit back and judge and think that you know if you weren't there too. You know what I mean? And
And just so you know, we have
they were
footage.
trying. Yeah, they were trying their best. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot
Yeah.
of situations to where they were used to working with somebody that that has what you had or still do, you know. So they
Yes.
were treating you like just an average sized person, especially with the bolus situation, you know, and how you Rachel gained. Geez, I don't want to put numbers out there,
Yeah,
but
don't put numbers, but it
she
was a lot, like
definitely
70 to 80% of my body weight in just a few days. Let's just say that.
yeah, exactly. Okay, well, oh wait, here's another question. Du-du-du. Oh, Jan, can you have a feeding tube
Gene, yeah.
placed? Wouldn't that
Oh,
help?
Gene. Yeah, I actually did have a feeding tube placed at one point. They did it in the hospital. My face wouldn't stop bleeding. It kept bleeding over and over and over out, and it was getting intolerable. And I'm very narrow in the throat too, even with the pediatric. So it became unmanageable. So we pivoted to a PIC line and doing total parenteral nutrition. It's called the TPN, and it ran through my arms. And when I had it exchanged side by side because you have to alternate. And when I tried to get it done again, they said that they spent 3 hours I was on the table, and there was just everywhere, just bleeding everywhere. They couldn't get another port in because there was too much scar tissue. And I've even had it in the jugular. Oh my gosh, that was awful. So, and the thing is it puts you at risk for infection. And I went septic at one point. So they said, and also my GI got lazy. So all of that combined, they said, rule of thumb, if you can do it by the mouth, do it by the mouth. It's the safest. And given my condition right now, that's the safest route for me because they can't do ports anymore through the arms. And anywhere else is just intolerable, or I just will constantly bleed. And that's been a problem in the past. So
Yeah.
it's weird when you get to a different weight level. I know this might sound weird. It becomes way more complicated than
Yeah.
just
Let me
a
just jump in
feeding
real
tube.
quickly. Lisa, I have
Sorry.
wanted to add about the TPN.
Oh,
She's also a nurse, by the way,
oh,
Lisa.
Lisa knows what's up. I know Lisa. She's always on her game. She knows what's up.
Lisa knows. And then just to validate, Lisa, nurse,
She's a nurse. Yeah.
medical professionals do want to help. We do realize that, and I think they are
Yes.
attempting to. But even
Yes, and just so you know, the nurses are my favorite. The nurses actually saved my life several times.
like the lifeline.
Oh my goodness, they have. They're the you got. Just so you know, not to dispute, there are some great doctors out there, and I've had a few, but unfortunately, it's a discriminatory process. A lot of times they don't know how to deal with a person with an eating disorder. That's all. They just don't. They get so much little information on it. It's not like a big study unless they specialize in it.
How
And Lisa knows.
how
She's
often?
like, oh,
How
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say how often they probably come across somebody who's as underweight as you. You know what I mean? For them to have that experience and knowledge.
Right. So you got to give them grace. But I can't not shout out to my nurses. Oh my goodness. My nurses have been the most helpful. You are the lifeline to the organization. Without you, we don't exist. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I know you, Lisa. So I just know you're full of love, and you always mean the best. I know that about you, full of life and happy. And that's what I want to do, because you're right, eating disorders are awful. There's nothing glamorous about it. So that's one thing as my mantra. I've been approached by so many people who want to take my story and publish it. And I'm like, I don't trust them because they'll glamorize it. I'm out looking for someone who will actually show it like it is. It's miserable, it's awful, and it's very complicated. And the longer you're in it, the harder it is to get out of it. So if you recognize signs, talk to the person and use person-centered language. We respond well. If you use I statements about yourself, it makes it, and when I share and support others through this process, when I share my story, I didn't realize back in 2015 that the whole world, I didn't know about that. I was so afraid, and I am still afraid sometimes because I have people stalk me because of an eating disorder, and and they bully, and it's hard when you're trying to go in recovery when people are telling you awful, horrible things. We need support. I can't tell you that enough. We are trying to do our best.
Yeah. No,
Sometimes we mess up.
yeah.
We
And
do.
from everyone who has shown support and has been following your recovery, and I feel not only I feel partially moral obligation, but it's um, if I were in their shoes and I was following a situation and story, I would like to hear some updates here and there. So I mean, it's one of those things. A lot of people are saying, well, why don't you go under a rock for like a year or two, get recovered, then come out?
Right.
And we actually went down that road, and it kind of didn't turn out well with you being so disconnected. You kind of lost touch,
Now,
and
I told people that. I'm like, don't just.
maybe
It's maybe the last comment where it was, people want to see a story with a happy ending, right? And
yeah,
I haven't provided that happy ending, and I'm sorry, but this is my life. It's not just a story; it's a journey, and I know there will be a great ending. It just hasn't
I was just
happened
saying,
perfectly.
the story's not over. See,
It's not.
we
I'm
have another
showing.
question.
What real quick, Red? I'm showing the process of something very private and vulnerable. It's like a present to me. It's the thing I hold most dear. That I'm exposing my most weak, insecure, awful, vulnerable points, and then imagine people are going da 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 da. You're like, oh,
Just
that's why I tell people I keep it a safe space because there are other people with an eating disorder, and when I share, they're wanting to share. And if we don't make that comfortable for them, they're going to clam up and recoil. And that's not what we're about. We're about openness, honesty, and safety. So this is the safe space, and we will protect you in our space. Okay? I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry, Rod. This
that's
just
right.
breaks my heart.
Oh, that's right. We'll have one more question that I have in the queue, and then if you guys have any other questions or comments, I'll pull on board afterward. And then I just want to acknowledge the hearts and the hugs and the thumbs ups
Aw.
that we're
I
getting.
can't see it. Rod's telling me I can't see
Yeah, I
it.
can see it.
I
All
can
right.
only see Rod right now, what he posts on the screen.
Sorry, Rachel. Here.
No, no, no. It's fine. I want them to know that's why I don't react because I can't see it.
Right. All right. So here we go. Here's the last one.
Oh,
Yeah. What's your update this week? What's going down with you, Rachel?
oh, yes, Jill. Thank you. That's so nice of you to ask. I did get the CT scan. There are kidney stones that are calcified, and they're pushing and causing some pain. But they're trying to let them just take its natural course and using other medication. And then also the CT scan showed that there is a lot of sludge in the gallbladder, which normally is not as harsh to people, but because of the amount and my size, it's giving symptoms of gallstones. These are the precursors for gallstones. And historically, even since I was a baby, I could not hold down certain foods. And especially, I call them lipids or fats. I know because people have a hard time with those words. So I say lipids, but it's fat. I think fat's beautiful. It makes you nice and lovely looking too. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I can't digest it very well. So that's one of the things that has caused the problem. And when I had the dental work done, they removed a lot of my nutrition. That was another problem. And then the CT scan. A good thing is it didn't show up like it fully blocked, but it did reveal I have tumors in my liver, but they appear to be benign, which is great. They're benign tumors, and the other thing is that I apparently have more fractures, and that's what
In your
an
back.
eating disorder in the back is about. Unfortunately, that's one thing I won't recover from is the osteoporosis because growing up I couldn't take milk either. And so historically my bones have been bad and I already had even like 15 years ago they told me I had 80-year-old bones. So I'm sure that that number has increased and when they've done tests people and I went to a doctor who works with the geriatric community to see if how she would handle the bones and she said she's never seen scores off the chart like this, so it's a bit of a delicate case.
Yeah,
So it's fractures. Oh,
sorry, when you have the edema that comes up from refeeding, it puts more
yes,
pressure on those bones. Was a angle that the
yeah.
doctors didn't realize, or you know what I mean? They didn't put two and two together on that one. So
When I
it's
had you're absolutely right, Rod. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. It's another thing that my brain does. I don't mean to do that. It
I
just
do
happens.
when I do it. I
No, but he's right because also I easily put on water, which is why I have to go slow and it will obstruct my breathing and it also fractured my bones. So you can see it's not as easy to refeed as one would think. I wish it were.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to it. Before we get into talking about it, Rachel, I wanted to ask you guys at home if you can leave it in the comments. What do you do to self care for yourself? Or maybe a couple of
Ooh.
different things that you may do because it can give others a guided idea, that maybe they can implement. So we have this, Rachel, that I put into the queue, and I should have
Okay.
I was showing you earlier some
Ah,
other
yes.
ideas. And
Yes, I love this.
yeah, if you want to explain it, I can maybe just now that you can. everyone can see it, I'll come back. But if you want to explain what that is, that'd be great. If you have the handy.
Okay, sure. So here's the thing. For me, self-care is work. Okay, like it's a challenge. Let's just say that. It's like I was telling Rod. It's like me telling him go learn C+ programming and program a computer in one day. Go do that. Like that's what it's the equivalent to me. It's like I'm like, oh my gosh, that's complicated. Okay, it takes work. I want to be that person who can kick back and have a spa day and enjoy it, but my brain doesn't work that way. It says that's bad, and I have to talk to it, and then it becomes a conversation, and I have to. Let's just say it takes a lot of effort. Okay. And one thing I did do this week because I have a friend who inspired me, I took a bath and I sat there and Rod sat beside me and I just stayed there and I did it for like a good like 20, 30 minutes.
That's about 30
I was
minutes.
so proud of myself. I know it sounds so silly, but I would never do that before. And it was because of the mutual peer support. It inspired me to do that. You guys are inspirational, my family. You are.
No, as soon as I smell myself, like I can't escape myself, so I've got to go wash myself off. So,
Uh,
uh,
Well, and I also tell you because
yeah,
one of my problems is all my five senses are
uh,
overly sensitive.
go put
Like
the garden hose on you, Rod.
I smell, yeah, I smell things before the dog, even our dog. I'll be like, and I react emotionally. I'm like, oh my God, that smells awful. I get sick to my stomach, and he's like, I don't know what you're smelling, right? It's like that, or taste, or sight, or sound, or touch. I'm extremely sensitive and overstimulated. Like
Yes,
certain foods, mushy foods, I will just bleh, I just can't handle. Or, things like that, textures. I'm just learning all these things about myself so I can get better faster.
absolutely. And keep on flowing with the self-care ideas in the chat. Pulling them on screen. Lisa's back again, and she has us to say.
Oh, Lisa, walking and bike rides without nature with music in my thoughts. I love that. You're combining your physical and mental and psychological. I love that. I love that. That's a great one because I could take a bath and maybe like put candle and put a candle out and like some good smells.
Mhm.
Ooh, and play like really calm music. Ooh, that's gonna be
Well,
a
you know what
challenge.
I like to do too is I like to have a trio or a couple people that you can always count on to lift your spirits. Give them a call while you're out with nature and FaceTime if you need to. A lot of times I call my mom to keep me centered, and I'm like, check out these
Oh,
clouds, and I'm like showing her where I am or where I'm walking and everything. And that's always interesting to
I
just
love that.
we're doing it too. Here's another one.
Connecting with people is awesome. Oh, Sheila. Oh, she's lovely. Look at that. Wow. For self care, I decided to quit vaping after doing it for 3 years.
There's
Oh
great.
my gosh. I've been nicotine free for an entire day since I quit yesterday. Oh my gosh, Sheila. Congratulations. But
She
do you know nicotine I've learned in school is one of the hardest ones of all the substances to let go of because the cravings exist long after because you produce more nicotine receptors in the brain that need it and they're expecting it. So you'll have more nicotine receptors than someone who doesn't smoke. So it makes it challenging. I am so proud of you, Sheila.
great.
Or if you say Shayla, but that is exciting. Oh my goodness, that's exciting. Oh wow, that is so hard, Rod. You have no idea. I've read how difficult. I've watched videos, read the studies. She's a champion. Wow. I'm sorry. That's amazing.
I'm going to put this image in the comments below once we're
Oh, could
done.
you put it on the
The
screen
one
again? No, no, the other one. The other one.
not that one. It's this
So
one.
the quick tips. I liked this because okay, I want you guys to think what you've tried, and then next week maybe we can do it this way. Pick one if you'd like that you're gonna try.
Yeah.
Pick one that you might try this week, and then when we meet again, tell me what happened and which one you picked. And you can put it in the comments. So I like this scroll through of happy memories on social media. That might be fun for someone, right? Or another quick tip was stepping outside just a moment, like what Lisa does, just going outside for a moment with nature. Just like, even if you're like, oh, I don't feel like it, go out for 2 seconds, right? Just a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then there was, pull that back up again, Rod, if you could keep it up for a minute.
Sure.
There we go. Complete a not too difficult task that you've been putting off. That's a good one. Because I just did that today, actually. Tell someone how you're actually feeling instead of fine. Yeah, that one I think I just did. Right? Do something playful. Yep, this is it. Playing with you guys. Stretch. Ooh, I was thinking about stretching today. Ooh. Self-defeating thoughts. Replace them with optimistic reframes. Yes, yes, yes. CBT it, reframe it. We call it the reframe game. I call it the reframe game. You take something and you go, say something really, really negative, like, I hate math. I'm not good at it. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Well, I am learning the process of mathematical calculations, and my friend is going to show me how to improve on that. There was a reframe. Wink at someone. Rod and I do that all the time. Oh, favorite pens. There's a bunch on there, and there were some self-soothing ones and indulging ones. Yes. So we'll put that in the chat, or we'll get that to you guys somehow. And you guys think of ones that you do, put them down in the comments below, and then one that you tried. How's that? I'm gonna be open.
It could be also something that you used to do. Maybe rekindle some old magic that you used to have for self-care. Yeah, and
oh,
she heard you.
Oh, my baby girl, my teddy bear.
Hi, Rachel.
Oh, my lovely. I miss you, boo.
Shayla says, thank you so much.
Oh, Shayla. Oh, yes, my love. Know that I read and watched videos of what you go through. My love, that is amazing. Oh, I let it break the shackles of addiction. We are, encouragement and fighting for someone. I tell people, if you ever meet someone and you tell them something really exciting and you get a deadpan look, and you're like, okay, that wasn't as fun.
Like,
and then you tell them,
talk louder or something.
Yeah, and then you tell somebody like who gives a proper reaction. It makes your day, and I'm not fabricating it. It really is exciting for me. Yeah. So if you ever want someone with a proper reaction about an achievement, come see me. I'll give you one, because I do really get excited about these achievements. They're not little things. They're huge. And I can see that. So congratulations, my dear. Congratulations.
Well, we got some good ideas from people what they do. What do you do for self-care, Rachel, and which ones are you working on?
Oh, normal people stuff is what I'm working on. I tell you. What I do to self-care is I like to learn. That's how I self-care, because that means I'm on track with recovery when I'm learning. If I'm not learning, I get in a funk. And the other one is one of my warning signs. Ooh, and this is what we're going to do about, remember the warning signs thing about the wellness plan? I attended a workshop about wellness, and I
want to talk about the wellness now.
Okay. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, self-care. I did the bath. That was one thing, and then I've also been I've been stopping learning. Like I've been putting my books away earlier at night. So I've been telling myself, okay, now you need to check out a little bit because you don't have any fun, Rachel. So I think I told you guys I started gaming, and so late at night it helps me get through the night. I play a little bit, not that long, but just a little bit while I eat too sometimes, because it helps make it more manageable. Because my GI is really impacted right now, and that's what she was referring to earlier. The CT scan. I've been having a lot of GI problems, and that's why my electrolytes are down. Food's been running through or the other direction, and if you guys know me, I do not this way. That's not my I cannot do that at all. And it's not to shame anybody who does. It's just I can't. My body just it has a oh my gosh, it's awful. It's painful. So it kind of runs through me, and my electrolytes depleted, which is why another thing was I had to go to the optometrist because my eyes I were so in so much pain. They were burning all the time, and they were making every time I blinked, and the doctors heard it too, and the nurses that came here. They're like, "What is that gushy noise when you blink?" I go, "I know, it's weird, right? Like every time I blink, it made a gush." So we thought it was too much fluid. But then when I went to the optometrist, they said, actually, it's counterintuitive. It's because you're so dehydrated and dry from all the diarrhea, sorry, and all the electrolyte depletion. That's why they needed to get home health. We need to get home health back out here. And they actually had a dispatch team instead come out immediately. And they were able to help, and they're helping raise my electrolytes and getting me hydrated again. Because when you're dehydrated, nothing works right. Your brain, nothing works. I was so I'm still not firing on all cylinders, but it's better than what it was because now we know what's wrong.
So
but not they Rod, but we don't know the source yet of the GI. I have a C. diff test that should be back by tomorrow with to find out if there's any bacteria, and if that's ruled out, then I have to go see a gastroenterologist, a GI doctor, to find out what's going on, because that's the other one. They did an ultrasound, a CT scan, blood work, feces, poo-poo, I call it poo-poo test, where you do the poo-poo test.
Specimen?
The poo-poo test, yeah.
Specimen.
And it's lots of fun to put that in your refrigerator and tell me, oh my goodness. But the other thing is then I see a GI doctor. So that way I can take the nutrition in easier. And then hopefully I've been having to chew only on one side, and that one side's already given out now. So I'm very raw in the mouth, but I still push it through where I can. And the gaming helps me go through the pain. I'm distracting myself while I'm eating, so I'm trying to not focus on the pain, because it's been painful. Imagine it's just painful to eat anything, even in your mouth, and then on the GI, and then it comes out. It's just bonkers, but we're getting there. I'm optimistic. I have to be.
So is there a self-caring or self-caring, I guess you can call it things you've done so far is the bath.
Another thing, what the bath was one
for next week, as it was always transpired.
Yes.
Right.
I knew where you were going. I was trying to help you out. Oh, sorry about that. The other thing I did do that I must mention already is I made my health a priority this time. Normally, I would have been like, nah, but I said, no, you promised everyone, your family out there, that you would self-care. So I said, I'm going to make sure that I'm calling the doctors. I'm talking to them. I'm being more proactive. So I'm not so reactive anymore. So that was, to me, that's self-care, calling and getting doctors and blood work.
If there was anything you want to challenge yourself with coming up, because you've done those and you continue to, but if there's anything else you think of, not to put you on the spot or anything like that, but...
I would like to, let me think. I'd like to eat something different. Thank you, Sheila. I do like these things. They're kind of fun.
So
I like them.
So you want to mix up your nutrition a little bit more.
Yeah, as much as I like GI, I know that's kind of iffy because, but this food gets boring having to eat this kind of food all the time. But maybe I could have something different, and maybe my tummy might not take it.
Well, you have a tendency, like haven't you always kind of had the tendency of having the not same food
thing
every day, but I mean, switching up the variety is usually something that you're not used to doing.
Yeah, because I'm very with autism, you're just OCD, just same. But it's also it's because the dietitian. You see, the dietitian, it's easy for the dietitian to track. That was the other reason. And with the dental work, they had to pull a lot of it. So I've been incorporating as much as I can back. But maybe I can come up with, maybe Rod make me something nice. How's that? I'll see if I can come up with a recipe that incorporates foods that I can eat that's new. and then submit that to the dietitian. Maybe that'll be a challenge.
Maybe I'll make you some cornbread or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I can't without the milk part.
Yeah, well, there's just
Of course.
bread maybe.
Yeah, but it doesn't even know I can't take milk, unfortunately. But the other stuff I'm all game for. So you people who have chocolate out there, I'm so jelly. I am so jelly of you. But I know that they make other kinds of chocolate now, so I can have some. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe they have some vegan chocolate that I can get. Oh,
The cacao, stuff like that. The cacao
like something that, oh, because of my teeth, because of the sugar. I'm gonna think on that, but I'll find a dish. That's what I'm gonna do. That's my self-care.
There you go. There you go. Before we start heading out, you want to touch on the
Oh yes, I don't know if you guys heard of this. Go to the green one, Rod. This is called a wellness plan.
There you go.
And I saw this and attended a workshop, and I was like, what a great idea, because goals need to be SMART. And that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So we want to hit all 5 of those, right? So mine is, that's the green zone, and there's a continuum. And these are when your warning signs come up. If you get to a yellow zone, you know what to do and what the indicator is, what the strategy, what the action. And it was, I just listened to it because I wanted to do it with you guys. And then there's an orange and a red zone. When you get to red, that's when you're like, too much, right? That's when your wellness and self-care goes down the toilet. But if we identify what that looks like and who to call or what to look out for, we can do this. We can do this. We'll do it together. So what we'll do is plan that for next week, a wellness plan. I mean, for next time we meet, a wellness plan. We'll do this together.
Can I say?
I like this idea.
Yeah. I also want to mention that you have an adorable siren noise that you do. Can you do it one more time?
What? Oh, stop it. You know, you're talking about my little idiosyncrasies. I'm all boop, boop. I don't know. I'm just silly.
And then what was this last one that you were showing me? Is this where you fill it out, right? Is this?
Yeah, you put the services in down there. And what we'll do, we'll go over that together next week. Okay. Or the next time we meet, because that'll be another session. So here's the call to action. Ooh. Down below, put your comments of self-care, what you maybe have done that has worked for you, what you're doing now, and maybe something you want to try. And we'll put that list up. I have a little piece of paper I made of it. It's a little self-care idea thing. So that way, if I want to look at it, because I like things in my hand to touch. Yeah. Like I'm old school. I like a book, you know, or I still read on screen, but I like books too. So, yeah. So I have this so I can keep with me as like my little guide of, oh, you know what? I need to, maybe I'll drink some cucumber or food-infused water. Put something cold on my head. That would be good for my eyes to cool them off from the burning. Little tips, just easy ones. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? Like I don't want to exhaust my brain. I want something easy that I can do. So I want to give this to you guys. Like I said, share your resources. That's all we're doing. We're just sharing.
I have one that I can do for you more often is use a massage gun on you and for you to get the massage done.
That might be too hard. I think your fingers work better. I like your fingers. So Rod, real quick, what do you like to do to self-care as a caregiver?
Well, I ever since January I've been slowing down. I need to speed it back up as far as spending the time painting. Yeah, I need to start to carve out I think one of the afternoons going to be my time frame that's best to kind of just let loose and just do that. Get some stuff done in the morning, errands and productivity, cooking and all that, and then at night hanging out with you. But I think maybe in the afternoon is my sweet spot to paint more. And I put it in the queue just to show you guys. Here's what I have been working on.
I love this one. It's so detailed. Just so you guys know, he's been now he's like, people are asking him to paint for them. It's so awesome. It's awesome. So he has like, it's so amazing. I told him he was so great at it. Now he believes in himself. He can see his talent. But that's what a peer does, right? we see things that the person might not see. And just so you guys know, the only reason he hasn't painted is because of my health problems. My Michelle, oh my goodness, my goodness, oh Michelle, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Sorry, I get excited. But yes, it's very important for caregivers. Creating art, Sheila, amen to that,
That's my
is self care. That is. Michelle. I love her. She's my girl. I miss her to
that's
pieces.
the best
So
one.
just so you know, also Rod, it's the sweetest thing. Rod also donates one. He donates them to people too. It's the sweetest thing because people are, let's say, displaced or sick. It doesn't mean they don't want to enjoy art. I'm not a great artist, but I like watching Rod, and it's inspiring. It helps me want to do stuff. So caregivers, bless yourselves. Nurses, doctors, frontliners out there, people in the field, bless yourself and take some self care time because without you, we wouldn't be here. You are so priceless and important. Rod, give me one more self care that you think as a caregiver would be beneficial. I know I'm putting you on the
Well,
spot, but
getting the activity and the fitness side. You know what I mean? And I've been meeting up with a new friend and been working out lately and kind of helping him along too. So it's been kind of great to kind of get fit and helping somebody at the same time answering questions and talking to him about you know leaving your workouts on a high rather than exhaustion and being able to hit that sweet spot. You know what I mean? Not too much, not too little, and be consistent. But you need your breaks. You need your days off, and self care Sunday. That's why we're here. But yeah,
uh,
working on the fitness mostly. So that and the painting and you know Rachel says I should watch the news every once in a while, so I want to put my 5 minutes in a day too. So
I mean, you got to
everything's
check in
going
on the planet. We got to know what's going on in the world. We can't just bubble ourselves, right?
right. Exactly.
So,
Well,
call to action. Put your self care idea down below. Put one you want to try, and we'll talk about it next week. And come ready if you would like for a wellness plan. We'll do it together. It'll be fun if that works for you. So hit the subscribe, hit the bell on the YouTube, and you'll get notified when the video's ready and when you can watch. And we'll be doing lives on YouTube as well. So please go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the bell, and you'll be notified right away. We love you. And thank you because today really I was down today and now my smile hurts. It totally does. My face
your
muscles hurt from
cheeks getting
smiling.
your cheeks getting sore there.
And this means I love you and flip it. I'm gonna love myself. Poop
that's
unicorns,
that's my
crap
I love
rainbows.
you.
Oh, I
Thank you
like yours.
guys. Until next time, we will do this on another Sunday.
I
And
love you, my family.
love you, and we will talk to you soon. And have a great upcoming week. Don't forget to self care because we do care. That's why.
Poop unicorns, crap rainbows, and stay clutch.
All right, guys.
Love you.
Have a good night.